grind. I was looking out for family. I was looking out the fastest. I was coming out the baddest. I was cooking, I was trapping. I was looking for the balance. I was looking through the basket. Now my stomach looked the fattest. Big old bookers full of carrots, like my enemy. Still I can't see how this can happen. I saw a print in need. I just can't turn around and go back with shit that meant to leave. I just can't turn around.
Mic check, what it do, world? Let me scoot over. Y'all know. Hey, come in if you know what this is. It is, man. It is official. You are live at 5:55 with the God BearFeezie. And well, episode 17, maybe. 17 should have been 18, but I skipped the day, I ain't gonna lie. Still at it, got more lives than I did last month. So you gotta stay at it. You can't, it get greater later. I turned the light on. I think social media responds better when your lighting is lighting. So I think the dark kind of gave it a vibe, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna do some episodes like this and just see, if I can get out the hundreds. Do some episode like this, see if I can get out the hundreds, man. This is another episode. This is where you get your morning motivation, inspiration, man. Some people just never try to do nothing. Some people don't even attempt. They just go about life, seeing what they can do. Some folks try. Some folks do try, but the most common reason for failure is giving up. The most common reason for failure is quitting. So whether you the one who's never tried nothing, or you are one of the ones that tried and then quit, tried and after a while, when it didn't happen as fast enough, you gave up. This is a show for you, man. Sometimes you got to get up early. Sometimes you got to stay up late. But you do have to give that time and effort and energy towards something that you really want to accomplish, man, on top of handling your responsibilities. Because we know in the meantime, you got to do what you got to do, to put food on the table, to provide a roof, especially if you got responsibilities like children, a spouse. So sometimes you got to wait till everybody go to sleep or wake up before everybody wake up, just to get your time in, just to make sure you're doing something that you want to do. And in this episode, these morning live at 5:55 with BearFeezie is for those people who really want to do something. Just got to get in rhythm. Just got to figure out what it is they want to do. Oh, and I'm gonna start right there, man. A lot of times it's difficult to figure out what it is you want to do with your life. A lot of stuff. Especially in these days, we've seen a lot on our phones in real life. We've went through a lot. We've seen a lot of news articles. We've seen a lot of videos and folks doing this, folks doing that. So we've seen a lot. So it's really hard to process and kind of think and, kind of weed out all the stuff that's just bullshit. And it's difficult to kind of, now, where do I fit in all this chaos, all this shit that's going out in the world? Where do I fit in? And, sometimes if for one, we got to be okay with just being still, sitting in silence for some time. A lot of us do not sit in silence ever. We're not just process our thoughts, just listen to ourselves think. Because a lot of people don't believe in meditation because it kind of wasn't taught in the different households or wasn't taught in their household. But we have to meditate is what they call it, but really it's just processing your thoughts and just being silent and just listening to yourself. We listen to everybody else and the opinions and gossip and the news and all this shit that's going on, but spend some time, 5, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, however long you can be silent by yourself. A lot of us have children and a lot of people that's calling us. Soon as they wake up, they get on the phone with you. And that's draining. That is draining your energy, man. You only get a certain amount of energy daily. So you have to be mindful of how you're using it. So give yourself, before you give kids, you get up, you pray, God is a creator, whatever you believe in. And then you should be after that. You should be immediately after God. You know what I mean? You're God's child. So I'm pretty sure after God, does what he does, he will want his children to get what they gonna get. As a parent, and some parents, most parents put their children before themselves. But God's ways are not our ways. So I'm just saying. So let's make sure you get some time to yourself, not just you and your phone, not just you and your movie, not you and your favorite episodes, or just you. Just listen to your thoughts. And but what I was trying to say, sometimes you gotta create your passion. Sometimes you just gotta I want to do this. You know what I mean? I feel good doing this. I wish I can do this. And, you're going to not be good at it at the beginning. Put some time, some effort, some energy, some practice time, put your hours in. I'm under the impression that it's 100 hours. You need 100 hours in doing something before you really say, hey, okay, this me. You know what I mean? Are you willing to put 100 hours in for free? Nobody paying you. It's just something that you want. Are you willing to put 100 hours in doing it? 100 hours of practice, 100 hours of getting better, improving at something. You know what I mean? Think about people who go to college and then after college, you got to go through an internship. Think about these are hours and hours of studying, of developing, of creating, of time invested before they even get a dollar out of it. Matter of fact, they have to go into debt to become it. Think about how the belief you got to have in yourself of doing it, in the passion you have to have in something to put all these hours in. That's why a lot of people don't make it through college. Because who finna put all these hours in? I don't even know what I want to be. Who finna put all these hours in? I can't even use the shit when I get out of school. They're saying I'm just going because my mama. That's why folks don't make it through. I'm not finna put all these hours in. That's not folks don't go. I don't know right now, so I'm gonna wait. Are you willing to put your hours in? You know what I mean? YouTube University. I ain't saying you got to go to college, but are you willing to research, look up, pay for a mentor, practice it, invest in it, put your own money into it to actually really become something? So a lot of times you just the passion. So I'm kind of rambling. You got to spend some time with your own thoughts. How do you feel? What do you feel like doing? How does this make you feel? Who do you really want to be? I know who you are. Everybody fucked up, but who would you like to be? If you didn't have to be, a mom, a father, a gang member, if you didn't have to be hood, you didn't have to be street, who would you really want to be? You know what I mean? Before you go outside and you got to put on your face, or before you go to class and you got to put on your smile, or before you go to work and you got to, good morning. You got to put on your voice. Who do you really want to be, man? And let's become that. Let's create that person. Let's think about that. Let's be that. You know what I mean? Let's become something that we really want, that we really would like to be. But so that's what I'm saying. Get some quiet time in your life. They call it meditation. They call it yoga. I think yoga is kind of quiet. Sometimes people play music, but get some quiet time where it's just you and your thoughts on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? Let's get some time, because when you first sit down, there's going to be so much shit rushing through your mind. When you first get quiet time by yourself, it's just so many voices and you thinking about this person. I wonder, is that person all right? And I wonder, did she make it to the house? And you know what I mean? So much thoughts is going before you even get to yourself. Like, it's just so much. Hey, did I lock the door? So man, you got to get up early to get that quiet time. If you're a parent, especially, you know what I mean? You got to probably stay up late. Once everybody sleep, you go sneak in there, just sit down. You know what I mean? Sit on the floor and cross your legs, and need quiet time to find out who you are, who you want to be. And you know what I mean? You may have to create it. You may not be good at it right now. It may not be something natural that comes to you. I would prefer that it is a natural talent that you just naturally have. I'm just naturally gifted better at this than most people are. I don't know why. I can just do this better. I feel good doing it. You know what I mean? You got to get these questions, get this stuff through your head. So, invest some time in yourself. Invest some real time, some quiet time, and some practice time. 10 minutes. I'm gonna end with this. Get out of your feelings, man. Feelings are just a temporary thought that you may not be thinking tomorrow. Feelings are just, your body responding to thoughts. And don't let your feelings get in your way. Today I was kind of motivated. I ain't gonna lie. I was rested. I was off Sunday. I don't get too many off days. I was off on Sunday. I slept all day on Sunday. But feelings are just temporary, man. You're not gonna feel like doing it sometimes. It's like being a parent, man. It really is. I don't always feel like being a parent. I don't always feel like answering the little small questions. I don't always feel like getting up and you just got up. You already hungry. You know what I mean? I don't always feel like it, but I'm committed to it because I've signed up for it. You know what I mean? Intentionally or unintentionally, this is my responsibility now, and I have a certain commitment to it. So when you find your baby, this is a good analysis. When you find a thing you want to do with your life, you have to treat it like a child of yours, a baby, a pregnancy, if you will. And you have to treat this baby with the utmost respect. You have to give it the time. You know what I mean? You got to treat it like your child and really grow it up into the adult. You know what I mean? That you would want your child to be. I want my child to be prosperous and a great, just a great citizen and just be better than me. So I want this thing that I've created. I want this to be something great. You know what I mean? So you have to be committed to it, and you're not always gonna feel like it. You're not always gonna, sometimes you're gonna be sick, you're gonna be tired, but you still have to be a parent. And you still have to invest in yourself, what you really want to do with life, man. I'm going to sign out, man. This is where you get your morning motivation. Comment what you want me to talk about. Comment if I made sense. I didn't write yesterday. I was asleep, so I just thought of this morning while I was praying and meditating, and hopefully this got somebody motivated, encouraged, inspired to go out on a limb, to pick back up what they put down, to start again, start over, to recreate themselves, rebrand themselves. Let's be great, man. And let's be intentional. Don't just allow life to just take you wherever, man. Let's really be intentional with our thoughts. Let's be intentional with our actions, man. This has been another episode of Live at 5:55 with BearFeezie. Keep doing what you're doing, unless you're doing something wrong. Peace.